This is the Milo Sweet Podcast. It's time to get clear on what you want and get there quickly. Tired of being stuck? Ready to overcome? Want to do difficult? No more excuses. Let's start now. Welcome to the show. Hey, before we get started, I need your help. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, review, and share. You really like the show? Want to put your money where your mouth is? Click donate. I would love your support. I am scared to say what I'm thinking, and I thought we could work through this together. So there's some layers to my thoughts. I think we all have layers. So I'll say a fundamental core truth, but to actually dive deep into what that truth looks like and to apply that to our lives and to really give clarity, empower us, and touch some taboo subjects. That's kind of in my heart, and I've done it a bit, but I'm a little scared. And here's the thing, it's I'm not scared to just say what's on my mind. 2020 is really tripping in a lot of ways. I'm not afraid to have conflict or to offend when necessary. I think if you truly have beliefs that you really believe, eventually your beliefs are going to offend someone, but you don't have to be rude and offensive with them. You're just going to say your truth, and that truth in itself is offensive. So I don't think if someone has on the color red and you're oh, my favorite color is black, you don't necessarily have to say, I don't like your red dress. Now, if they say, hey, do you like this? Well, I would prefer it in the color black, the way it fits you. Would you wear it? Well, no. I mean, the truth is, it's not my style. And I don't think you have to be rude about it. You could, if you're going to offend, it's I would never wear the color red. And someone that picks that red dress out, blah, blah, blah. Exactly. You just stop listening. You're oh, okay. You seem unhappy. Have you ever heard about being happy and joy? But just general, I don't want to say I'm trying to figure out the best word to say. I think fear is a way to say it. It's not that I'm holding back in the sense of I'm literally holding back and I'm not saying what I want to say. I think I realize, life is a journey. So as you learn about things and you grow and develop, for me, podcasting was new this year. So just speaking my mind is a new concept. Just, wake up, say what's on my mind, get started with my day. Sad truth, I probably would just be saying what's on my mind to myself if no one was listening. So, you get started, I say what's on my mind, but as I continue this journey, I realize there are things tugging on my heart. And I don't know, I kind of felt what do I do with these? Because it just feels scary. So I thought, okay, what would I tell someone else if they brought this to me? I think first is, why do you want to say it? I think intent matters. Sometimes you can just want to say things because someone's listening. Have you ever, if you have kids, that your kids will just say anything just to get your attention. And anything. My youngest, oh my gosh, when he's sleepy, it's not going to be funny to you. But it is hilarious to us because he just thinks anything is funny. If you said, hello, I was going to say, hello, sir. I don't know why we would say that in our house. But, or it's time to go to bed. He'd say, it's time to go to bed. I don't know. Okay, so terrible job. But he's so silly and he thinks it's so funny. It's hilarious. So any words we say, he'll just put his own little spin on it and it cracks him up. And it's not funny in itself, but how tickled he gets from it, it makes us laugh. The point I'm trying to make is he'll just say anything just because he knows we're listening and we're tickled by him being tickled. And I don't think that's what I'm going for, which totally fine because I don't mind being making a complete fool of myself. But I think I'm going for, can you guys hear that? That's my fridge making water. I don't know if you can hear that. And no, I'm not cutting it out. I like having podcasts with some imperfections, to be honest, because I see everything super curated online, and I understand in professionalism. I get all that, but I don't like when things are too perfect, because what happens is we can't process that. We're not perfect. We're humans, and we make mistakes, and the more perfect we see things, the harder it is to process, I think, our failures. So if you couldn't hear that and I just told you my fridge was making noise, well, excuse me. So I think my why is a good why. I think I want to have good conversation with people and discussions and challenge myself and challenge others, and speak my truth. So I think that's a good why. And I think maybe the reason why there's a little bit of fear is just making sure it's wise. I believe that you can have a good idea about something, but wisdom it will serve you good the rest of your life. So doing things just because you can, I don't know. I don't think that's a great idea. I think do them, but you have to be responsible for what you say. So it's not like me just sitting at my dinner table chatting it up. This is on the World Wide Web, the internet. So no, I don't want to just say anything. And I realize also people are dealing with a lot of different things in their lives. So they hear something and it can really send them somewhere else that you were not even trying to. So I think, I don't want to just say things just because, but then I think, I'm working through like what would be my end goal. And I think my end goal is like to give people hope, for me to have hope, and for us to be free. Like if we can, I think 2020 showed me that we're all repressing so many things that if you just set them throughout life, like a little bit, you just let you let your truth spill out in little ways throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year. And what happens is you don't bottle or steam over with like the stress of it. A lot of times, I've seen some interesting things in 2020, and I'm not saying I'm better than these interesting things. I'm just trying to be delicate. And I'm thinking, that doesn't get there overnight. A lot of the things we're seeing is not an overnight thing. So if we are able to have discussion, if we're able to think and challenge ourselves and sharpen our theories and our beliefs and values, I don't think something like 2020 happens. I don't. I think it could happen, but how you respond and react will be totally different. So that's my 2 cents on that. So I think if, probably I'm going to just do it anyway, but I really want to work through why I'm kind of holding or feeling held back. Some of these are just ideas I just came up with this week, but my initial fear was like, oh, okay, like I'm afraid of that. That scares me. And most things I do afraid anyway, just because, well, if you're going to be afraid, you might as well do it. Like, I don't understand in not doing it and then still being afraid. I would rather do it. And if I'm going to have fear, I might as well do what I'm afraid of. So at least I'm afraid and I'm doing it. But having fear and you're not even doing it or whatever you're afraid of, it's kind of weird to me. I feel like get those results, achieve that. So I think for me, what I'm going to do after I kind of iron out those 3 things is why, and, the intent, really thinking about, my hope for this, and then really focusing on what makes me afraid, or the end result. I think that might help gear me towards the path to talk about it. So that's kind of maybe my suggestion for that. And then I think at the end, it's I think I'm probably going to brainstorm it with someone that I trust, that's very honest, that's also very direct and bold, because, if I brainstorm it with someone who's kind of shy, it's probably not going to come out that well. So probably brainstorm it with someone, probably a senior citizen, they'll just say whatever's on their mind. That may or may not work for me. Seriously, I'm like a 70-year-old woman trapped inside my body. but I do look good for 70, so what can I say? Yeah, so if you're feeling afraid to say what's on your mind, I would say the first thing is figure out why you want to say what you have to say. And then kind of dial in on, the importance of that. And, your hope for that. And then what should be the desired result? I know we can say your hope and your desired result should be the same, but I often find that that's not sometimes the case. I can hope like we have a good meal, but the end result is that we're fed, nourished, and it's healthy. And sure, maybe your hope is like that your family enjoy every meal. It's probably not gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe you're an excellent chef, but we all have different palates. We all take things differently. So I think, for me, my hope is to have freedom and to live light in my life. I don't like to have things heavy unless necessary. And we put a lot of things on ourselves. So that is not my goal. And I think connecting after that, if you connect with someone, really pick a good person. Don't pick a person that's always going to tell you what you want to hear, because that's not good either. They'll send you all the way off sometimes. And then don't pick someone that maybe isn't really bold enough to say what's on their mind, because that can kind of make you hold back too. And if you don't have those people in your life, just keep listening to the podcast, I guess, or write down your own ideas. I love to read back my ideas. I don't know why, but I love it. I love reading things that made me sad and happy, and I just love the beauty of the journey. There's something so freeing in that. Yeah, so if you're afraid, we're going to get over it together. We're going to get over the hump. We're going to move forward with good ideas, new ideas, challenging ourselves, and live a life that is meaningful to us. That is all for today. Don't be afraid. Actually, just do it afraid. And usually the fear for me subsides. I forget that I was afraid. That is all. All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening to. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, for real. No, for real. Okay, you can keep listening.